Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered. Visit cineco.ky for your quote today.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up, the phone lines are open, so pick up the phone and let's chat about what's on your mind, Cayman. Talk Today's next, right here on Radio Cayman. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden, and welcome to Talk Today. I hope your Tuesday's turning out to be a good day. You know, getting back into the groove of things. And August, hot, and looks like a lot of people are, taking off. The kind of traffic that you usually find out there midday. No, the streets are relatively free as when I was driving down here. So, people getting the last chance of a vacation break for the summer, and we're moving into the peak of the hurricane season. It looks like things are kind of picking up out there in the Atlantic, but from what I'm seeing online, it looks like maybe that area of disturbed weather is going to kind of stare away from us. Yes, our big boy, El Nino, he's running the show. He's our protection. But things have become more active out there, and August is our time. August, September, that's when things start to happen. Well, I came across an interesting announcement. The National Trust of the Cayman Islands. The National Trust is inviting folks, members of the community, to come and learn more about the early history of Georgetown. It's a free talk at 6:30. It said 6:30 at the town hall, Constitution Hall, right? Traditionally the town hall in Georgetown, and that's on the 13th. That's Thursday, and apparently they're going to, have a little revelation because, they're going to be revealing some, lesser known facts about early Georgetown, and some even some things that have not been talked about before. And they're going to be talking about the period between 1679 and 1828. What's that, like a 149-year period? And stretching back there over 200 years ago. And not much was happening as far as, any kind of town. If you could travel back then, you wouldn't find what you would call a town. Not what you would expect, even for that period of time. And it should be quite interesting. It's actually called the talk. The talk is titled "An Abridged History of Georgetown, 1679 to 1828." And there's going to be a panel of local historians sharing, these little-known facts about that period, specifically for Georgetown, I guess, and some of which have just recently come to light. So that should be interesting. And this includes information about the earliest families in town. So if you're a towner, you should check that out. Might learn something about your family roots, and they'll have a question and answer session at the end of it. So that's Thursday, 6:30 at Constitution Hall, the Georgetown Town Hall. And reading this, of course, well, let's see, that kind of sparked my the history nerd in me. Any other history buffs out there? Mickey, I know you're one. Yeah, Mickey is definitely, a history buff. Good would be interesting to hear from you, Mickey. You know anything about that period, 1679 to 1828 in the Cayman Islands? Well, that got me to, searching online. What was it like? What was life like in that time? Actually, what I got back, it actually says the period of 1679 to 1829 is a fascinating period in the history of Georgetown and Grand Cayman. It actually takes us from a time when the island was only loosely connected to the British Empire into the beginnings of an organized Caymanian society. 1828, things were then beginning to happen. And it should be noted that, at the outset of that period, 1679, there was not any kind of town called Georgetown. In fact, there was no town called Georgetown throughout that whole 149-year period, according to this. And the area that became Georgetown developed, gradually around Hogstipe Bay. And that is important, Hogstipe Bay, because the one thing that this side of Grand Cayman, the western side of Grand Cayman, the one big advantage was a usable harbor. And that happens in so many places. You have a usable harbor, and that's where things developed. The name, the hogsties, of course, that came from because there were livestock enclosures right there on the waterfront. There were hogsties, people raising pigs, and the ships could anchor offshore and come and obtain their provisions and water. And archaeologists have found old freshwater wells. Remember when they were building the shopping center out there, and they actually came across the stairs and the wells and everything. And so ships came in there, and of course life was almost completely dependent upon the sea. The sea was everything, right? The men were fishermen, and also, turtling was big. One historical estimate estimates that by the late 18th century, Caymanians were supplying 1,200 to 1,400 turtles a year to Jamaican ports. So, if you could paint a picture of what was happening there, the waterfront around Hogstie Bay in the 1700s, you'd have small sailing vessels coming in, men unloading turtles, hogs and other livestock near the shore, people taking water from the wells, fish and other provisions being exchanged, sailors from Jamaica and other Caribbean ports coming ashore, and families living relatively close to the water. And some farming was going on, and it was during this period that we had the introduction of slavery, and Grand Cayman had a population of approximately 933 people in 1802, including about 545 enslaved people. So enslaved people represented well over half the population. There were no big plantations, people just eking out a living. And one note here was that the island was remarkably independent. That explains a lot about us, right? There was little direct government here. Cayman was, associated administratively with Jamaica, but Jamaica was, in those days, Jamaica was a long ways, way over the horizon, and there was no communication. And Caymanians developed a tradition of local decision making. I think they still have that in Cayman Brac, right? Local decision making. Cayman Brac has its own local government, and the British appointed authorities were very limited. So people kind of decided collectively how to deal with the situation, and we still like to be included in things, right? Whenever the government brings up anything. But go and check that out. Thursday, 6:30 at the Constitution Hall. Learn about the early days of Georgetown, which was not called Georgetown then, an abridged history of Georgetown, 1679 to 1828, 6:30 at the Town Hall, Constitution Hall. It's 12:30. Got to take a break, but, give me a call. Let's chat. Be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical Motor Insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. Simon shares some of the tour secrets of the band. I also bring you the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
This is Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Well, welcome back, and we're going to find out what somebody has on their mind. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
I like how you said that, Charles. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Not bad, sir. Not bad. Grateful to have a little time to myself. So, thank goodness. Hope you're well, too.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Awesome. I wanted to, I tried calling yesterday afternoon just before you locked off because of the, not the last caller, but the caller before the last caller were with you for quite some time, and he was sharing his thoughts on many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to call to, and I thought it was important to follow through with this, to call to compliment him on a couple of things. One, the, very sharp and thoughtful things that he shared in relation to his opinions on a number of different items. But the key thing that stood out for me and that grabbed me, and I hope it can continue in some way, shape, or form. But he was a good trailblazer for it, and I wanted to compliment him. He was not confused about where his parents were born, but he was equally not confused about where he is from.
Yeah.
And I am so tired, and I've been saying for a long time, when is our country going to have its own children? And for that matter of fact, when is this country going to have its own trees? To think that I had someone on social media ask me, where did Cayman get its wood to burn for the house and that sort of thing from if it didn't come from Jamaica? I was like, are you... Basically said to him, because it was online, are you crazy? Are you suggesting that we didn't have trees in Cayman, that we imported trees? It's almost as if, and it stemmed for this whole conversation surrounding those people where you started this morning who are confused about the fact that Jamaica was a British overseas territory and only administered Cayman via the British governor who was stationed there, who seems to think that meant that Jamaica owned Cayman. But it was in that context. And I don't want to deviate from that, but I want to say to that guy, I'm proud of you. He identified as a first-generation Caymanian. He is not convoluted about that fact. He's not confused. You don't have to identify as half Jamaican, half this. He understands who he is, and that's what we need. There are multi-generational Caymanians who are not confused about who they are. There's no ifs. But for those status holders, I want to implore those, particularly those who just got their status, when you have your children, affirm your children as being Caymanian.
Yeah.
Stop confusing them, because there are so many of them that feel mixed and feel like they need to identify with the parents' flag Give us our children, give us our people. Stop with this half. And if I could take him up on that one point that he made where he said, everybody has some Jamaican connection. No, not true, my brother. That was the only thing that stood out to me. Not necessarily true, but even if they did, that's the same that could be said for any country. Jamaicans came from somewhere as well. Their history is from Africa. So are Jamaicans going to continue to talk about they're from Africa? No, at some point in time, you're from that country that you're at. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting that you call about that, because after the show, I thought about that same caller for a while yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
And like you say, he was first generation Caymanian, but he had no doubt that he was a Caymanian.
He didn't have to identify by his parents. In fact, if he didn't tell us that from his passion, from everything else, we would have thought he was multi-generational.
And it goes to show what can happen, what can come about from immigration into Cayman.
That's a positive.
Here he is saying there's no place like Cayman. He would want to live any other place, right? And he's a first generation Caymanian, and in some ways even more Caymanian than some true-born Caymanians.
In many ways, Carlo, in the sense that his patriotism shown too. The gentleman talked about the fact that he would give up $1 billion because he wants his children to have a home here. He wants it. He understands who he is, and that's what we need more of. We need, those migrants who've come here and become Caymanian to stop about, I'm half Jamaican, you need to make sure that you identify Jamaican. No, maybe you need to affirm your children about the home that you have made your home, and allow for them to be Caymanian, whole Caymanian, where they're children and they're not confused. They're not confused by the fact that their parents are born somewhere else. But that doesn't mean that you don't identify with where you're at and where you've embraced and where you've chosen to be. And I just wanted to applaud him for that.
But my brother, at the same time, we have to embrace them too.
And I agree. But
men like him, we have to embrace.
Well, that's why I'm calling, because I thought it was important to tell him that. But I thought it was important for others to hear it. But I agree with you. I don't, Charlo, unless you know otherwise, I don't know too many Caymanians that necessarily shun people. Are we having? I'm hopeful and thankful that we're not totally antagonistic towards those who are foreign. There are times when I wonder about whether that's starting to happen, because things are not always on equal footing from the Caymanian lens. Now, that may be challenged. You may feel a different way as a Caymanian, generational Caymanian like myself, or you may see it slightly different, or you may challenge it. But there's no doubt that many of us are feeling like we're not equal, even in our own country.
Well, I guess it's a natural human reaction. Anytime you've been born into a society, a country, and then you find yourself outnumbered, there's a psychological shock there that you have to rationalize.
That's right. That's a key thing for us, in addition to the fact that many struggle to get work when there's so much work available. So those two key factors, more than anything else, will cause tremendous challenges for us if this government don't continue the path of trying to assure and affirm Caymanians in their own country. That's another day. But I just thought it was important for him to know that there are those of us who heard him, who appreciate him. I'm not sure I know him. I kind of think I know the voice, but I don't know him direct, and that's neither here nor there. And I appreciate you, brother, for not being mincing words about who you are and your country, and you don't have to identify yourself via where your parents were born. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Thanks, Charlotte.
Have a good afternoon. Good to hear from you.
And also you too. Bye-bye.
Yeah. There are those who come to Cayman and become part of Cayman. I know my grandson had a friend. His parents were English, but he was born here, and he declared he was Caymanian. He says, I was born here, I am Caymanian. You know, he embraced Cayman as a young boy, and actually today he's, you know, doing a very Caymanian thing as, you know, a 20-something-year-old young man. He's sailing the seas. How Caymanian is that? You know, I see him on Facebook every so often, and, you know, he's out on he works on a sailboat. He's sailing the seas, carrying on a seafaring tradition of Cayman. I think we have a caller there. Let's take that call. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hey, Charlo, how you doing?
I'm all right, and you?
Yeah, man. Holding on, you know. I said the brethren that were talking yesterday afternoon, we said he's descended from Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wonders, man.
What's that?
I especially when he was talking about his father was a shoemaker. Took us to the warm or just things like that, right? I remember meeting some long time Jamaicans up in West Bay. And I'm in a wonder now if this is a family business here now. But somehow I can picture the voice of the brethren who was talking. But I still don't know if I'm right. I don't know if they are still alive, but I think about 2 years ago I seen one of them by Foster's in West Bay. So it could be the same people.
Mm-hmm.
The voice sound familiar to me, man. It could be the same people, man.
Well, the whole thing is that he is an example of a first-generation Caymanian that is truly a Caymanian.
Yes.
You know, regardless of, you know, that his parents immigrated to Cayman from Jamaica, and he grew up here. I'm not sure whether he said he was actually born here, but hey, he has made Cayman his home, and he obviously loves Cayman. Very patriotic to Cayman.
Yes, man.
And that's the thing.
Yes, man.
You know, we shouldn't be too quick just because someone is a first generation Caymanian to immediately class them as still being some kind of expatriate. Right?
Yes, man. Yeah, well, like I say, I remember quite a few of them. You know, some of them children even work for government here and retired, and some migrated to New York. I was thinking about that brethren yesterday that we grew up together. And his father was Jamaican. I know his father used to sell produce and things like that. But
Ben, even many generational Caymanians can trace, you know, their family back to someone who came from Jamaica.
Yeah, I believe all about that. Sometimes I wonder if I know one of them. Yeah, cause all my life.
Well, for sure, on my maternal grandmother's side, yeah, I can trace roots to Jamaica.
Yeah.
But listen, I got to take a break here.
Yeah, I need to talk to you though about what you were talking about the first, you know.
About the Georgetown?
Down in the house, I did. Yes, well, I wasn't over around it in times, but
I hope you weren't.
Yeah, I can still see something on it, you know. Okay, I'll call you back.
Okay, all right, cool. We're gonna take a break. Be right back.
Little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways. Offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
The government is inviting the public to share their views on proposed changes to tobacco and vaping laws. The proposal aims to protect our young people, strengthen vaping rules, and address concerns about disposable vapes. We want to hear from parents, educators, businesses, and the wider community. The consultation opens on the 21st of August. Log on to publicconsultation.gov.ky to help shape the future of tobacco and vaping policy in the Cayman Islands.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Jello. You caught my attention earlier, I guess, in the start of the show about the step well that is there at the Bayshore Mall.
Right.
Right. I was involved with cleaning that out.
Yeah.
Was myself and Mr. Ray Banker and Miss Deborah Tabora Barnes when she was at the museum, and I remember going into that well and cleaning out getting all the trash and stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I came across a little rock, almost like a mushroom, and it was connected to the ground, and I broke it, and that spring just keep on coming, and that thing was just squirting out there.
You'd pull the plug.
I got me a plastic bottle, just a regular water bottle, got the water, and that was like in 2006 or 7, and to this day, I still got that water in that bottle, and there's no sediment or all. That water is so good that was in there. I was drinking it, because man, it was just so good.
So that was good water.
Good water.
And that's pretty close to the ocean.
And the step well is still preserved, but it's not open to the public like it used to be. They put a plexiglass over the top of the well, and there was a little embroidery shop there one time, and you could stand over the well and on that plexiglass and see the step well. They say said it was like about 12 or 14 of them there, but this was the only one that, was saved of it. And thank God, we actually had an opportunity to save it.
So did they close it because of safety concerns or what?
I really don't know. Right now, the last time I went in there to see it, they had a big table over the thing, and it was like a meeting room. So I don't really know, but I mean, to deprive Caymanians of that opportunity to actually go back in time and see how people actually laboriously dug into that iron shore and, by hand, and I'm sure pickaxes and iron crows and probably calabashes to help scoop it out or whatever. Those times we should actually sort of showcase that for public, and it's right downtown. It would be a great visitors attraction,
So it's actually inside of one of the shops?
Yes, you go through by, where the stingrays are? You go straight back there and you take a left to the very last opportunity you got before you get to that multi-story building. And it's in the very corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of tucked away in there, but it's still there. It's still there. They didn't fill it back up or anything. And like I said, the people did a fantastic job of putting a thick plexiglass over the top so you could have seen it. But the last time, it wasn't visible because there was a table. And they might have covered it up with a mat. I can't remember, but they didn't fill it up. I know that,
So is water still coming into that well, or what?
Say that again, please.
Is water still coming into the well?
Yes, it for a few months we would be going back there and checking it out, and the water level goes with the tide.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'll be like 6 or 8 inches, almost up on the last step down, and then sometimes it'll be about 6 or 8 inches below the step. So it's a spring.
Yeah.
So it's fed, and constantly. So
I'm amazed that that's just yards from Hogstye Bay.
Right.
And I'm fascinated that you have fresh water there so close to the salt water.
You know how that works? I know we got freshwater veins that run through this island, and then and 3 foot away from that, you'll have a saltwater vein. Through these caverns and we're a very cavernous island with lots of holes in it. I mean, like what used to be called Long Hole Road is now called Water Coast Road. The reason we used to call it Long Hole Road was because that long hole that goes straight through from Hell all the way through Bonaventure and out through the point down there by Lighthouse development that they got on the northwest point. And that has fresh water on top and salt water down lower.
Amazing.
Fresh water being lighter, from the rain.
Yeah.
But I was digging a well at my house. I did a core drill, and 5 foot down, man, that water was saltier than what you get out of the ocean. I moved over a few, maybe 50 or 60 feet over, drilled another one, and that water was good. It was still a little brackish, but it was palatable. You could drink it.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a calabash, you could really enjoy it. And so, we have all of these veins that run through our island where we have fresh water. Up at East End, they have a whole bunch of them. I know friends that have, these open wells that is natural, that they can go get water out of it, and it's good, fresh water. So
what you were talking about is like a cavern that runs from Hell all the way down to Northwest Point.
Yes, right behind. While speaking of that, Hell Hole, right at Hell, right behind the post office, there's a hole there that's being filled up. That is the first site of the first ever cruise ship visitors that was taken on a tour by my late Aunt Let Parsons.
Oh, yes, I remember her.
She was in the Girls Brigade in 1937. She was the head of the Girls Brigade in 1937. She was 20 years old, and Commissioner Cardinal had requested that she show the guests from the cruise ship West Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she took them, right there at Hell, because in behind that post office, there was, like I said, a hell hole, and that crack went all the way down behind Ivan Farrington's house now, and next to Mr. Anglin's house, and it goes down behind Gary Brandon's house, and across the street, right on down. When they had these earthquakes, those holes open back up. All those rocks that they fill them up, they just vibrate and fall in, and they got to fill them up again. That new development had a big problem with that. And that site, they used to put, by Hell Hole, the turtlers would put little small turtles in there. 2 turtles. I remember growing up as a kid, and we would go there, and we would feed the turtles. We would take them sojas or pieces of crab. But they had fish, the little guppy-looking fish that's in Hell. And so the turtles would have food all the time. But us as school children, we would go by there and take them food and watch them come up to, and they were sort of trapped in there. They couldn't go down because they were too big to fit through the small opening, but water, gushed up through there. And like during Ivan, when the whole place was being flooded through that hole that goes,
wow,
and Ray Banker has some videos of it from Ivan. He was out there.
The water was gushing up.
But we have a real interesting history that's being hidden or not exposed, and we really need to do better at keeping in touch with our history and letting people know where we come from, and so that's all I wanted to touch bases on, Chalo, is about that
well,
water well, and those how cavernous our islands is with all of these different freshwater lenses right next to saltwater lens. So
all right, well thanks for the call. Some interesting stuff.
Yeah, interesting. If you like geology and stuff like that, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, listen, you have a good afternoon.
Chance.
Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, just one little...
real quick, I got to go to the news.
Our museum has a good diagram of the trench, Cayman Trench and Cayman Islands, how it sits up on this little mountain. It is very fascinating. It's upstairs, and if you go look at that, that would be something that you'll never forget, and you really realize, that we are just founded upon the seas. That is such a profound statement that on our flag.
Well, you take care. Thanks for the call.
Nice talking to you always.
Same here.
You all have a good, blessed day, man.
It's 1:00. Let's check it with the newsroom.
Covering Little Cayman, Kim and Bragg.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Premier Andre Ebanks is leading a Cayman Islands delegation to the NAIC Summer National Meeting in Columbus, Ohio from today through August 14th. He will engage United States insurance regulators and discuss Cayman's application for NAIC qualified jurisdiction status at the meeting. In international news, former Miss Universe Canada winner Ashley Collingbull has criticized this year's pageant after two contestants wore attire representing Indigenous culture during its national costume segment. BBC News reports Collingbull, a Plains Cree woman from the Enoch Cree Nation, said cultural appropriation had been done towards Indigenous people at the event. In other news, the VIX stock market volatility index has fallen below 15, its level before the U.S.-Iran war began in late February. The Financial Times says investors see little chance of fresh market turmoil, despite oil nearing $90 a barrel and fading hopes for a swift reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
HSA's Orthopedic Clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's Orthopedic Clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
The coconut industry on the Sister Islands boomed between 1890 to 1915, with annual exports exceeding 1 million per year. In 1906, the industry peaked with the Sister Islands, accounting for the entire export of the Cayman Islands. A coconut disease had previously killed off all of the trees in Grand Cayman. The industry was so successful that the government of the day went as far as to impose a special export duty. However, on Friday the 13th, 1915, a hurricane of unprecedented severity devastated the island of Cayman Brac, rendering most homeless and decimated 98% of the coconut trees on the Brac and 40% of those on Little Cayman. To add insult to injury, the coconut disease that struck Grand Cayman would soon arrive in the Sister Islands. During the 1920s and 1930s, efforts were made to revive the coconut industry, but the efforts were modest and the industry failed to reach its previous level of prosperity.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
You like your music soft? Radio Cayman. You like your music sweet? Radio Cayman.
Or do you like a little coffee?
Radio Cayman, y'all.
How about a disco-y?
Well, whatever you prefer, got it all on hands.
Just stay right here with us on Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. And before we go to the phone lines, let me get a quick update on the weather here. In Georgetown, it's 92 degrees, feels like 108 in the afternoon. Forecast is some isolated thunder showers. Winds currently out of the south-southeast at almost 10 knots with a relative humidity of 63%. And the forecast, the synopsis is saying we have a tropical wave moving just west of the Cayman area, and that's going to dominate the weather pattern for today, bringing periods of showers and the possibility of isolated thunderstorms. Tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of overnight showers with possible thunder, temperatures in the low to mid 80s, and winds east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas running at 3 to 5 feet. And we have a low tide coming up at 2:33 this afternoon with a high tonight at 9:04. Sunset at 6:54, and the outlook is for a decrease in shower activity for Wednesday as drier air associated with slight concentrations of Saharan dust lingers over the area. Another increased chance of showers is expected for Thursday as a tropical wave drifts into the northwest Caribbean. And checking in with the National Hurricane Center in Miami, we have disturbance number 1 out there in the mid-Atlantic, and with a 70% chance of cyclone formation in 7 days. And they're expecting conditions to become more conducive for development during the next couple of days, and a tropical depression will likely form during the latter half of this week while the system moves westward to west-northwestward across the central tropic Atlantic. And that's how things are looking weather-wise. Let's go to the phones. We've had a caller patiently waiting there during the news. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
So this information where you're getting back there.
What I was reading about Georgetown?
Yeah. So far back there, you get it off of Google or something?
ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering who was around writing stories about them.
ChatGPT was there. ChatGPT was there. They traveled back in time.
Yeah, man, but I use my imagination, Chalo, and think about the part that Bob put in his song, the people before me, how hard they work for this country and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that was the same thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, that what they're describing there was not an easy life.
Man, you would imagine that, though, Chalo.
The first Caymanians were some, hard people. They had a hard life.
Yes, and we heard nothing about Caymanians were lazy. Them kind of stories and things nowhere existed in those years, right? What I was saying, Jalo, coming up to the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we born into, Cayman, was on the road. We were on the road. We probably didn't know where we were going or how we were going to end up and things like that. But we were on the road. Still, from the sea.
Yeah.
Because, Chalo, let me tell you all them turtles and things that we carried from the Skidakee to Mexico, Key West. Them little monies there, right? When them little monies were shared, that was a big thing in the Cayman economy in those years, my boy.
Yeah, as this said, the sea was the economy.
Yes, and then when National Bank came in, it really made Caymanians feel more hopeful, right? That young guys could go out and some of them build houses and some of them never get it right. You know, things happen. But Caymanians were more hopeful when National Bird came here. And in the 60s, even though it was hard, it was still hard. But we were on the road. Like I said, we didn't know where we were going, how we would end up in life and things. But we were on the road.
Oh, yeah. You know, national bulk money built a lot of houses in Cayman.
Yeah, man. That's why, Jado, when I hear them kind of nonsense about Caymanians, lays and things like that, and knowing what they using them words for today just to get by in the Cayman Islands and keep us down in any way just by using that word, right? It really hurt me, man. But
well, one of the great things about the whole national bulk era was that the company had, you know, that system where most of the money earned by the seamen was sent home. So it was actually being saved, right? It went home and the family, I guess, had use of it, or they could put it in a bank. You know, the men just had, you know, enough money to, you know, you go into port, you could go have a drink or something, right? But most of the money was actually coming in to Cayman, and that was U.S. dollars, foreign currency, foreign exchange.
But I remember when your Aunt Hope used to bring the allotments for my mother, and from them times, you know, Cayman women were the greatest money managers.
Yeah.
Maybe they still are.
Maybe so.
Yeah, because for what I have to say about them, man, women are much smarter when it comes to managing money.
They take care of the money much better, huh?
Yes. I have to give them that credit, man. Yeah, Chado. But like I said, man, we come a long way here. With times that we didn't know where we were going, but we were going.
Yeah. What was that cigarette commercial? You come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
Come a long way, baby.
let me tell you, man.
Listen, let me get a couple other callers in here, okay?
Yeah, man.
Good to hear from you, though.
Yeah, cool.
All right, let's take another call. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Top Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Charlo.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Charlo, I want to tell you a bit about when they're talking about Georgetown history now.
Mm-hmm.
I stumbled across a lot of jewels, a lot of, I found a cave.
You found a cave?
When I was a little boy, I stumbled across a cave. I couldn't fit inside there now.
But as a child, you could crawl inside.
But no, I realized nobody has built on the land. Sometimes I drive across there and I just go and check on it to see what's happening. But it ain't my property, and it could very well be for the government. But I don't know what to say because I can't tell anyone special to go inside there and you'll find you'll get rich. I can't tell it because.
So you found jewelry in there?
Mr. Charlo, what I found in there as a little boy.
So did you take it? I mean, you took it out of the cave?
Rat bat. You couldn't stay in there. Had to run out.
But I mean, you say you found the jewelry. Did you take some of the jewelry out of the cave?
No, you couldn't do anything. The rat bat is so terrible in there. You know the rat bat, the bat.
Yeah. They're looking for people to do something with bats now. Citizen scientists to help with the bats.
But the stuff was so old, Mr. Charlo. The precious metals was so old that I don't eat. Sometimes when I look like for things in museums to see how old the stuff was, to try to date how far back in history it was.
Mm-hmm.
They were so old. The way that they made them, it looked like they made the things with some of them with their hands. Well, definitely had to be something like that. But
well, maybe that was some pirate treasure you found.
I think so, and I said to myself, should I tell someone in the government to go and get them, because I didn't really want to. You hear about curses and all. I told them out about
But
it.
if you find jewelry in a cave, you should really take it.
Yeah. But,
Listen.
yes. So I was saying, Mr. Charlo, it ain't my property, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to go about it.
Okay. All right.
Best way, So.
All right. Well, thanks for that little historic tidbit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have a good afternoon.
Okay. You too.
We have another caller there. Well, who knows? We used to always hear about these tales of people finding stuff in caves. Remember, was one story about people finding coins, in caves in Cayman, and supposedly, pirate treasure, etc., etc. Whether that was actually true or not, I have no idea whatsoever. But has the price of gas spiked a little bit recently? Well, I think it's gone, like it's actually gone on the other side of $6, and because I know I got some. I filled up. What was it? A couple of nights ago. $85. What? And I was on quarter tank. So when I pulled in, I said, "Well, shouldn't be too much. It's on quarter tank." $85. We got a caller there. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, Charlotte. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madame.
May I discuss something with you? I'm looking into renewing the visas in our Cayman passport, the U.S. visas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm told we have to go to Jamaica.
I think so.
Yes. Going to Jamaica, and there are no appointments until December.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that that's when you're...
But don't you think that's a bit ridiculous?
Well, I guess, they got the appointment system, and I guess you just make that appointment online, right? It's like whatever date is available.
But
now, I've been told that you can pay an agency, what was it, about $500? About $500, and they'll take care of the whole thing for you.
Yes, but that still means you have to wait until December. Don't you?
No, apparently not. Apparently you can get it done in weeks if you go through this agency.
I just spoke to them.
You did?
Yes, and it's way until December. And you should hear the fees, Charlo, to go to Jamaica through an agency to get a USA visa. Because in the U.S. now, they're not letting you in a waiver anymore.
Yeah, the Cayman waiver?
Yes.
Oh, that's gone?
I just heard that a while ago.
Well, tell me this: do you have a British
waiver anymore, and they're charging you $500?
Do you have a British passport?
I have both.
Well, you know what? If you want to go to the U.S., you go on your British passport. You can get an ESTA.
Yes, I have that.
$40 if you already have it. I just got one when I went on vacation. It's good for 2 years.
Yeah.
If you're going to the States, just fly on the ESTA. Never mind the visa.
But the person that's going with me has a Cayman passport.
Ah, okay.
And he has to go to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm checking out the whole thing now with the agent, and they're full until December. Who is our minister here that could deal with Jamaica on a higher level?
Well, I don't think we don't have anyone really of, foreign affairs. I guess that's the governor's office, really, when it comes to foreign affairs.
Don't you think I'm not dreaming? Don't you think because we're a small island, they could send a couple people here for just renewals? Not to give...
If they were of that mind.
Well, a long time ago, I tried to get my birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried for years. And I tried until somebody heard my voice. And they came here and issued birth certificates.
The U.S. consulate?
The
Jamaican.
Jamaican birth certificate came
Yeah.
here and issued them right there on Eastern Avenue.
Okay.
So I'm hoping, so we don't have a minister that
not of foreign
that,
affairs.
To the governor's office.
Yeah, that the governor's office would handle any kind of foreign affairs because we're a British overseas territory. So
don't you think it's ridiculous to say you have to go to Jamaica, number one, cost a fortune, and stay in a hotel? You can't go until December because it's so full. Don't you think the government here, whoever is in charge, should make it a priority to get a couple of them to come here, not for first-time visas, but for new renewals?
Well, they could ask them to. Have you spoken to the U.S. consulate, the representative here?
Who is that?
Well, the U.S. consulate has an office here.
Oh, I did. Everywhere I call, thinking I'm going to speak to a person, I got an answering machine.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And
I know that's most annoying.
Yes, it's sickening. If I could break them all, I would. But Charlo, I'm hoping my conversation with you will bring up the subject, because I just checked it out. I don't want to say the name of the place. And the amount of fees, and that's not for hotel.
Yeah, that's just to handle your business.
Yes. And it's a lot of money. That's not your airfare. That's not your hotel.
Mm-hmm. And your other expenses while you're in Kingston waiting to see the consul.
And a line until December. I think that should be a priority here for government to come here to do for Caymanian passports. Renewals, not first-time grant. Renewals.
Yeah.
Especially what's happening with Mr. Trump and all these laws.
If my memory serves me correctly, I think at one time they did that, many years ago.
Well, I am much older now, and my visa is up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm told I have to go and be re-interviewed. And, I can't do all of that now at my age.
Yeah, I can imagine it, because just going to the embassy is a day's work.
But what I'm saying, they shouldn't just mix up everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They should have visas for visitors, like people coming from other countries. Because you have people in Jamaica that go to the embassy every day of their life,
Trying to get a visa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because one time when I took my daughter-in-law, we thought the line was very long. But there were people who didn't want to go in, and they were selling the space.
Oh, really?
Yes.
My God.
They said, if you want, I'll sell you my space. And so you go up one, and the other person's selling their space. So by the time you get to the top, you would have bought many spaces. I couldn't believe it, but they can always think of a way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Years ago when I went there, there were people outside because you can't take phones inside and umbrellas and that sort of thing. Uh-huh. And, you know, people were out there saying that they would keep it for you.
Yes.
You know, and
yes. I remember.
I'm gonna leave my phone with you. What?
We went so early we didn't have anything to eat or drink. And there was a man out there, and he was peeling oranges, and his hands were awful. And we had to eat the orange from him, you know, because we were in the line so long. But no place that you could have a coffee or something like that, you know. But
no, it's a very secure place, not like the old embassy was. And then even after you get through that gate, you know, it's that long walk.
Really?
Yeah.
You're sure you can't do a long walk?
You know, you can see how once you go inside, you can see it's set up in a very defensive way. You know, even if some people would burst through that gate, you know, they have this wide open space that they have to go through before they would actually come to the embassy, and the military people inside that embassy would be able to take their actions accordingly.
Even more reason why our government should step in and make it a priority every 3 months.
But remember, it's the U.S. show.
Well, we have never done them anything bad.
True.
There's no Caymanians really breaking any laws up there.
Yeah.
You know? So I would hope somebody is listening and hearing us what it's
well,
like.
Like you say, there's no drove of people, you know, from Cayman trying to enter the U.S. and overstay, and get jobs up there. They're all coming here. And if they have an office here, I could see why, as you were saying, especially for renewals, they have the office, the U.S. Consul office here, representative here. Why couldn't they just handle, you know, those renewals from Cayman?
And protect them all.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much things you can think of, but if nobody says it, nobody knows what is really happening.
But U.S. immigration is very strict these days. I mean,
all we do is go there and what? Increase their budget?
Yes, we help the economy by shopping, right?
I know. When they ask me why am I here, I say to boost your economy. That's exactly what I say to them.
And what do they say back?
They smile, and I said, they say, how much you have on me? I say cash, and I tell them how much my credit cards are worth.
So you say, I'm here to boost your economy.
Huh?
I love it. When you say it, you tell them, I'm here to boost your economy.
But exactly why I'm there.
Yeah.
I go there to shop, eat, drink, shop.
As we all do.
You know, I don't know what all of it, but I am serious now. I'm hoping somebody would hear us today and do something about it, because we really shouldn't have to go to Jamaica. And I had friends that went to Nassau, and Nassau objected that they came to Nassau.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, I have personal friends that went to Nassau, and they objected.
Years ago, you could do that. You could go to Kingston or Nassau.
Oh, you can't go to Nassau anymore?
Well, you said that Nassau objected. The U.S. consulate in Nassau said, like, why are you here?
Yeah. But somebody needs to look into the whole thing. You know what I mean? Once you're in as a foreigner to get a renewal, you should go to a different section, and it should be, with me, they say I have to be interviewed again.
And all you want to do is go shop.
That's all. Get out of here for a weekend. Go crazy. Walk to the mall and eat sugar-free ice cream and shop.
That's all you want to do. Just have a good little time.
Of course. All right, Carol.
All right. I hope you get through.
I sort of, my wings are broken now. I'm like,
yeah.
What? Because I couldn't imagine until December.
Yeah, I've heard that the wait is, long.
That's all disorganized, man. Need somebody to sort it out better. And I could.
They probably got AI doing it.
Oh, my God.
All right. You take care, my dear.
Thank you, Darren.
We're going to take a break. Be right back.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what, though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways. Offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Think on no Cayman? Get out and explore the legends behind our landmarks competition. Visit any landmark on interactive map, snap a photo or video, then share it to Instagram or Facebook and tell us what you learned. Tag at MYSCH_Cayman and use hashtag legends behind our landmarks for your chance to win weekly prizes and 2 major prizes. The more landmarks you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit Legends Behind Our Landmarks.ky and find out where we from. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage.
The government is inviting the public to share their views on proposed changes to tobacco and vaping laws. The proposal aims to protect our young people, strengthen vaping rules, and address concerns about disposable vapes. We want to hear from parents, educators, businesses, and the wider community. The consultation opens on the 21st of August. Log on to publicconsultation.gov.ky to help shape the future of tobacco and vaping policy in the Cayman Islands.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Simon LeBon from Duran Duran. Simon shares some of the tour secrets of the band. I also bring you the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
This is Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And OC from, on the record just sent me a text about Bermuda. He sent me to the Bermuda, the Royal Gazette. It says a story there says, U.S. says travel rights can be revised at its sole discretion. The United States Consulate General has moved to clarify that visa-free travel to America is governed solely by U.S. policy and is not part of a bilateral agreement with Bermuda or Britain. The office also highlighted that the island's special relationship under U.S. policy was not a guarantee, emphasizing that visa-free travel was under the sole purview of American officials and can be revised subject to shifts in global politics. Antoinette Hurtado, the U.S. Consul General, told the Royal Gazette, Bermudians' visa-free travel to the United States is quite a special status, currently shared with only one other nation worldwide, Canada. And I guess Canada might be in jeopardy too if that rivalry between with Trump continues. It says the clarifications came in a statement affirming travel privileges for Bermudian passport holders entering the U.S. in the wake of what the consulate called recent questions from the public regarding Bermudans' visa-free travel to the United States and what might impact that status. So I didn't realize that Bermudans had the privilege of actually flying in, traveling to the U.S. without any kind of visa, and apparently not even like how we used to have to get a waiver. And so, I don't know, we're hearing that maybe that is also something of the past now. There's no more waiver for Caymanian passport holders. Another WhatsApp message here. Chalo, recently I renewed with an agent and didn't have to go to Jamaica because when the application was completed, the embassy responded to say, based on information provided, I just needed to send my passports, and I received back in 3 weeks. So there's a glimmer of hope there. So, so didn't have to go to Jamaica because when the application was completed, the embassy responded to say, based on information provided, I just needed to send the passports. These things keep changing so quickly. It's hard to keep up with them. But there you go. It is possible to get the visa without actually traveling there. And I'm sure a lot of people would love to be able to do that. Another WhatsApp message, maybe she should go to the U.S. consulate in the Smith Road Center rather than call. Didn't even realize they had moved there. What date is the talk about Georgetown at the Constitution Hall? It's on Thursday. Thursday is when all that is happening. It's at 6:30. So Georgetowners, learn about your town. Yes. An abridged history of Georgetown, 1679 to 1828, on the 13th of August, 6:30 at Constitution Hall. So let's see, any more messages here? where is the official government notice about not issuing any more waivers? I did not know that they had stopped doing it. I don't know, maybe we can get some clarification from someone. Yeah, I have not seen anything official about it, but and going back to the first settlers in Georgetown, one of our frequent listeners and WhatsApp messengers said, "Hi Charles, I've always wondered when the first settlers here, many of them our own ancestors, decided to call themselves Caymanians. Regarding the step well, the museum had created a very informative label for it when we covered it with heavy-duty plexiglass. However, it is on the Kirkconnell land, so they are the ones who really decide on its public access." So that's how that goes, because it is on private land. So hello. Am I the only one questioning why so many road surfaces are being resurfaced? The majority of these roads are in fine shape and not in need of repair. West Bay Road, which will need to be torn up to upgrade the sewer lines to handle the unbridled building of 10-story buildings before long. Savannah by Countryside, etc., South Sound being a current example. No potholes, no damage, or pavement cracks, etc. Aren't there much more pressing concerns in our society that this money should be channeled towards? It seems suspect to me. Who owns Island Paving? Who owns the traffic control business that seems present in great numbers on all of these projects? More importantly, who determined that our dollars should be directed to these projects? Just asking. Additionally, you recently had a caller discuss on air how much more practical, effective cement paving as opposed to asphalt would be. Who's profiting from all of this ongoing work? Wouldn't it be more logical to properly pave the east-west arterial extension beyond Hurst Road that is poorly surfaced but in regular use? Questions about our roads and paving there. Reminds me of a movie called Falling Down, where a guy is down on his luck and he notices the same thing in this movie. Roads that were repaired and repaved earlier in the year are now being repaved again. And of course, he just didn't ask. He started doing some weird things about it. But, be interesting to hear from National Roads Authority, because they're the ones who take care of that. Let me see if I can get this to open. I think we need a new phone. I'm trying to get the message to open, but there we go. Afternoon, Mr. Glidden. On the contrary, I was instructed to send mine. This is back to getting the visa now. Afternoon, Mr. Glidden. On the contrary, I was instructed to send mine by DHL also, and it was rejected. And then I was instructed to attend the interview in person. So there's no surety. Yeah. I mean, it looks like the safe thing to do is to actually go to Kingston, and of course you got to get you got to get your appointment, right? And that's all online. I imagine you don't even speak to anyone. You just do this, and it tells you what's available, and you pick a date from what is available. And that's one of the things, though, about, the modern way of doing stuff. It's all very efficient, but, hard to ask a question. You can't, is there an exception that can be made? But now everything is online. You can't even write something. You just got to select. You got some choices, and you have to select something. Time for us to take a little break. Be right back.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
On another place, but do on another story? From Pedro St. James and Fort George to John McLean Drive and Mission House, every corner of Cayman has a story to tell. Visit legendsbehindherlandmarks.ky, explore the interactive map, and discover the people, places, and moments that shape our islands. Learn something new. Visit somewhere new. Find out where we from. Start your journey today at legendsbehindherlandmarks.ky. Brought to you by the Ministry of Youth, Sports Culture, and Heritage.
I found my friend on my radio bag while listening to Radio
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Yes, what's on your mind? We're having an open line show today, so you can pick up the phone and give me a shout. Numbers to call 1-800-534-8255. That is courtesy of Flo. And 949-8037 or 949-6990. And, of course, WhatsApp 925-3261. And little community announcement here for folks in the north side and East End. Local farmers market will be at the East End Heritage Field on August 15th, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Produce, meat, plants, food, juices, craft, all there for you at the East End Heritage Field. So, get out and you get your local farmers market produce fresh out of the ground. And I mentioned earlier gas, spiking up here, and that's how it is now. I mean, does anybody really know what we're at now? What stage we're at in the Middle East with the U.S., Iran, and Israel? It seems like the kind of stalemate going on. Open the Strait of Hormuz? No, I'm not going to open it. Oh, it's already opened. And now Iran and the U.S. are each, going through these negotiations, each one trying to get some kind of upper hand in any deal that might come about. But no deal seems to be coming about. And I was looking at this Reuters recap of what's going on, and Reuters is actually calling it a standstill, and the headline on it was suddenly the Strait of Hormuz is irrelevant to the U.S. That's where all the oil comes through, right? On the tankers. And suddenly that strait is irrelevant. Apparently the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent over the weekend claimed that the strait would become irrelevant as oil would eventually be redirected through pipelines. And this is giving analysts, those people who study these things, giving analysts the impression that the White House was trying to wash their hands of the whole affair. You hear the White House is trying to find a way out of this thing. They've gone much longer than they had anticipated. They're even running out of missiles. Can you imagine that? The U.S. running out, their supply of missiles is low. That's how much firepower they've extended during this whole conflict. But how long is it going to take to build a pipeline to replace all the oil that comes out? 1/5 of the world's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz, and they're going to replace it with replace the strait with pipe. I guess it can be done, but it's not going to be done tomorrow. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mr. Charlo?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good not to say too much, to reveal too much on the radio, because I don't like to talk too long anyhow.
Okay.
I don't like to talk too long, but I'm.
Good. We're almost at news time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get some people to buy the property.
Yeah.
The property with that had all
the treasure.
Yeah, the treasure. I think I know some people who will be able to afford the property, but I try to do it in a smart way, just to see what they found, and then they mine it. And tell them.
You mean mine it, like dig, looking for stuff?
If it's their property, they can go and
dig it up,
search the cave and see what they got. I just want to maybe I think I'll be doing someone a good favor.
Yeah.
Maybe
make the property, make it worth their while to have gone and bought the property.
What I found here is a little more. I think it would be worth the stuff I found.
I think so, huh?
Would be worth billions of dollars today, in my opinion. The stuff was so old. All the precious metals were so old. It was so old style and everything that you would never believe. You would think that caveman made these things, Mr. Charles.
Caveman.
No, No, serious, Mr. Charles. It was so old style. They were made in such old-fashioned ways that you would never believe. You would say, man, this.
Maybe that came from Africa.
I don't know, but it was a lot of it. It was a lot of stuff up in there, and I can try to look for some people to buy the property and just to see.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Have a good afternoon. Yeah. Looking a little further at what analysts and so forth are, making of Scott Bessett's comment about the Strait of Hormuz being irrelevant. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessett, calling the Strait of Hormuz irrelevant, signaled a strategic pivot toward land-based oil pipes and bypassing the choke point. Observers felt this dismissed America's traditional role as the global maritime security guarantor, implying Washington preferred to exit regional policing. Reasons for observer concern shift from defense to evasion, emphasizing land pipes and alternative routes suggested the U.S. was giving up on keeping the waterway open by force or constant naval patrols, abandoning allies, relying on workarounds, left dependent allies in Europe and Asia to fend for their own energy security instead of relying on the U.S. Navy umbrella. Economic disengagement, treating a vital global trade route as a problem to be circumvented rather than solved, looked like a retreat from active global economic leadership. And that's how some of the observers of international affairs are interpreting that comment by Scott Bessett. Meanwhile, oil is more expensive. That means that gas will remain, elevated, and we pay more. So this thing has, instead of being resolved quickly and decisively as how the U.S. and more directly President Trump thought it would be, he thought this was going to be, slam, bam, and it's over. But now it's dragging on. It's dragged on to what I remember President Clinton was commenting on this and said, there's several scenarios of how this thing could come out, and one of them was that it enters into a drift where nothing is really being resolved, nothing is happening. You just have a situation where the strait is still closed. The normal amount of tanker traffic coming out of there is dramatically reduced, and fuel is more expensive. It's 2:00. Let's see what's making headlines.
Yesterday,
Today,
Always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market. With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. A free weekly 5-kilometer park run will begin at Festival Green on August 29th. Caymanabase says the volunteer-led event will be held every Saturday at 6:30 a.m., with participants gathering on Festival Green before following a route along the nature loop. The event is timed but has no winners, prizes, or time limits. Participants may walk, jog, or run at their own pace. Local organizer Robert Duggan says people register once online for a personal barcode, which they bring to track participation and progress. The event is supported by the Cayman Islands government. Organizers are also seeking volunteers to help with timing, course marshalling, and welcoming participants at Festival Green. In international news, the Venezuelan government says it has agreed with Israel to establish a coordination mechanism enabling consular services 17 years after breaking diplomatic relations. Reuters reports today that Venezuela ended relations in 2009 over Israeli attacks in the Gaza Strip. The agreement marks a shift in Venezuela's geopolitical alignment after its long diplomatic break with Israel. In other news, researchers at the University of Vienna say brain scans of 12 dogs show they can distinguish emotions in human faces. The study used machine learning as dogs viewed faces with different emotions. The researchers say it is first evidence dogs can tell apart specific negative facial expressions in testing. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's get a little weather update here. The afternoon forecast is calling for isolated thunder showers. Current conditions here in Georgetown, 92 degrees and feeling more like 109. Hot August afternoon here. And the winds are out of the southeast at almost 9 knots with a relative humidity of 68%. And our weather is being dominated by a tropical wave that's moving just west of the Cayman area, bringing periods of showers and the possibility of isolated thunderstorms. The forecast for tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of overnight showers with possible thunder. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s, winds east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 3 to 5 feet, and at 2:33 we're going to have a low tide. That's not long from now, and the next high will be at 9:04 tonight. Sunset at 6:54. The outlook is for a decrease in shower activity for Wednesday, as drier air associated with slight concentrations of Saharan dust lingers over the area. Another increased chance of showers is expected for Thursday as a tropical wave drifts into the Northwest Caribbean. And out there in the tropical mid-Atlantic, National Hurricane Center Miami says we've got disturbance number 1 with a 70% chance of cyclone formation in 70 days. And as it moves westward, over the next couple of days, conditions will become more conducive for development, and tropical depression will likely form during the latter half of this week, while the system moves westward to west-northwestward across the central tropical Atlantic. And so we're in the season, moving into, the peak, and this is our time of year where things start to happen, but hopefully that's just going to stay out there in the Atlantic, right? Yes, we're into the home stretch here on Talk Today. We have about 23 minutes or so left. If you want to get in your calls, now's the time to do them. 1-800-534-8255. That's courtesy of Flo. You can also call on 949-8037, 949-6990, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261. And let's take a WhatsApp call here. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Great. I was listening to your conversation yesterday regarding Caymanians selling their property, and
yeah,
we Caymanians, we can't afford to purchase property. But something came to mind from an experience I'd like to share with you.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So I grew up here in Cayman from a broken home, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I shouldn't say a broken home, a shattered home.
Okay.
Long story. But I wish my parents, or it was a step parent when it first started out, and then it came to so first it was a single mother, and then I had step parents. But I wish my parents had taken me out at a young age and say, son, let's go look for a piece of land. That conversation never happened.
Mm.
When I left school, all my stepfather was concerned about is me getting a job, getting married, and having children. I started to work after I left school, and I was about 21, I think. I was still at home. And I told my mother I'm going to save because I wasn't happy with my grades, so I'm going to save and I'm going to go back to school. And she was fine with it, but my stepfather was not fine with it. So to make a long story short, he kicked me out of the house because I was too old. He's from Jamaica, and 21 is a grown man. I guess he's from the very old school, and going back to school and all these things wasn't in his.
Yeah, he didn't see the value of education.
Yeah, he didn't see that. So I've been kicking around ever since, and to jump ahead of the story, I managed to purchase a piece of land.
Good for you.
For myself. Yeah. So, but how I did it, it was very hard. I had to live in squalor. I had to live in my car. I had to live various different places in order to pay for that land off, and I was determined not to go to the bank.
Wow.
And I eventually paid for it. And luckily, too, it was owner financing. So I didn't have to go to the bank, to pay.
You didn't have to jump through all those hoops.
Yeah, so I didn't do none of that. So I went, purchased the land, got through with it, and that's how I managed to get piece of land. But the problem, what I'm trying to get at is, I wish parents would take their children, especially the young men, take them out, look at piece of land from your early, and get them on the property ladder, or the land ladder, I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, same thing.
And this thing about, pardon me?
So, yeah, whatever term you want to use, right? The property ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, my stepfather, he was from the old school in Jamaica. He said, he looked at me one day, he said, look, I come to Cayman to build my house, and no man in his house. When he came to Cayman, mosquito were killing cow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the early days.
He worked too hard to build his house, and the only man must be in his house must be him.
Aye.
My mother couldn't say nothing, because it wasn't her house; it was his house. So I had to get out, and it made life very difficult.
I can imagine.
So I remember when I paid my first rent, it was like $900. I said, "Geez, I'm $900. I gotta give this woman." It was a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "No. This is too much money to be wasting." And he has another philosophy too that, these things make you paying rent and makes you responsible and all this foolishness. It doesn't make you responsible. Nothing. That's rubbish. It makes you broke and it makes you poor. Why should I be out here paying somebody else's mortgage? Huh?
Yeah, that's how usually what's happening.
In less than 5 years, I had that land paid for cash, basically.
And you sacrificed a lot to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, living in your car, so you didn't. You could,
on my
you could
body.
pay
I
it
had to
off.
put my stuff. Pardon me?
I say you lived in your car so that you could pay for the land.
Yeah, I put my stuff in storage, and then I had 2 jobs, and I made sure that I was doubling up on the payments, and I paid it off. I paid it off.
So you're a person that you can focus on a goal and do whatever you have to do to accomplish that goal.
Oh yes, I was determined because when I look at how to pay like 900, 500 in rent, throwing away all that money, I'm like, oh no, this money can go. I'm not going to be able to go to college, but this money is going towards getting a house or a piece of land, and yeah, I was very determined.
So after all that sacrifice, now what are things like for you today?
Pardon me?
I say after having made all that sacrifice and buying the piece of land, how are things for you today?
How is it for me today?
Yeah, how have you progressed?
Oh well, I was going to go through the same process of see if I can get a house started on it, but I couldn't. The lifestyle of living in and out of the car was taking a toll on my body.
You can. But now that you have the land, though, if you have the land without any charges on it, it must be much easier. It must be much easier to get a loan from the bank.
Oh, I'm not going to the bank. I'm going to go through the whole. I don't want to be a slave to the bank. I done my research on the bank, and the bank is just something you need to stay away from. I'm going to go through it the old-fashioned way. But I want to say this before I go.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people say the government don't do this and the government do that. But it's also the parents that don't do this and don't do that.
Very true.
Take your children out there and show them and drive around and show them the future where you could be. Don't expect the government to come and put a piece of land in their hands like that. And then you're pushing them out there to pay somebody else's mortgage. How are they going to ever achieve anything if they're out there paying $1,200 in rent? Especially if they're good children,
Mm-hmm.
I never been to prison. I never done drugs. I never done nothing like that. So
well, congratulations to you for being able to make your sacrifice and achieve your goal of owning a piece of property.
Yeah, I got my house plans ready. I got some money ready to put down the foundation.
And you're going to build it piece by piece,
step by step.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Congratulations to you, brother.
If I had known, I would have gone to UCCI and take that construction course, and I would know how to build a whole house myself. It would have been cheaper than getting a mortgage in the bank.
Definitely.
If you could
listen. I know someone who
to UCCI, I could have built a house myself.
Yeah, because I know someone. Well, he was in construction and he built with a little help with a couple of more guys that he hired.
Mm-hmm.
He built his own house, a fantastic house, but he did it with cash too. And,
Very good.
he just knew how to build. But thanks for the story. I hope you
it's
inspire
cheaper. If
other
they
young
think of it
Caymanians.
like that, instead of paying this mortgage, spend your little money. I take 3 years to take the course. You know how to build a house. It's cheaper than taking out a mortgage. Trust me. But I already got another plan in place. Thanks for listening to my story.
Hey, I hope it inspires others.
Thank you.
You take care. Great story. Got another couple of callers here. Oh, got to take a break first. Hang in there. We'll be right back with you.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britgay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Real quick here before we go to the phones. This thing came up about whether we still had the visa waiver program for Caymanian passport holders. So I decided to take a quick look here. This is on the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, their website, and it says the waiver is still in play. Cayman Islands visa waiver. This waiver remains available for Cayman Islands passport holders who choose not to apply for a U.S. visa. Use of the waiver provides less flexibility than possession of a visa because each application for a waiver is good for only one entry to the U.S. as it has always been. But yes, the waiver is still available for Cayman Islands passport holders. Let's get some phone calls in here before it's too late. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was trying to catch up with you yesterday, but my schedule is pretty tight.
Okay. Busy woman?
Yes. I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you managed to discuss it in the first part of your show, you had guests or whatever, but some big news happened on Friday, and I was so ecstatic.
What was that?
The government has finally released a public consultation on the residential tenancies amendment bill. So you heard about it?
Yeah. We didn't. I had it on the list if I needed to go to it, but things have been kind of busy here this afternoon with the phone calls.
Yeah, so I just wanted to publicly state that because, many people, I've been advocating for landlord and tenant rights since 2000. And unfortunately, since Friday, everyone's kind of quiet on this issue. The whole time people were sending messages and making comments online. It doesn't seem like anyone has much to say now that the government has come out and do what they say. They said they were going to look into this, by the time they were ready to get back to Parliament in September. So they've actually done a step more, and I think it's a great gesture. But I'm just wondering how everyone's so quiet about it. It's one of the hottest topics since immigration in Cayman, and just a little disappointed I don't hear more about
I guess
it.
that's how it goes, when people are shooting off their mouth, and then when it's time to step up and actually, say what you need to someone who's going to listen and do something about it, nobody steps up.
Yes, I just wanted to publicly let people know that the government did release on Friday, the 7th of August, a public consultation period from the 7th of August to the 20th of September, a public consultation of the Residential Tenancies Amendment Bill 2023. So, they can check the government website and do a search and find it rather than me giving the long drawn-out URL and email and that sort of thing. All the emails is there. They can jump onto my social medias and they'll find the information. But I just wanted to publicly thank the government and the last administration who did the amendment for finally, doing what they said they would do. We only have three members of the opposition that are no longer sitting in the government, but they were a part of the last administration so basically, the same people almost.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the story in the Compass, and what's amazing was that there had been a new law passed in 2009 that restricted any residential increases to once per year and introduced a mandatory 60-day notice period. But then it just sat there. It was never enforced.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying. Now, Mr. Glidden, that was 2009. I believe that may have been. Anyway, let's not say which government or which political party it was under. But, yes, it was done way back when, and I call it sat on a shelf for all these years, And anyway, it was brought back up to the government so that the day attended last administration and
2023, there was some amendments to update it, but again, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, it believe me, I'm not sure, but you probably do know, or maybe you don't know. There's a lot that goes into these things that people don't realize. A lot. And, again, I will say I believe we need another one or two ministers because as the country grow, we form new departments and new services and that sort of thing, and you'll have one minister that has 3-4 different portfolios. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work, but I do commend them for finally bringing it out, and let's see what's going to happen. I tell people, all of you landlords and tenants, especially you tenants that have been complaining the entire time, or you had your point of views or whatever, now is the time to say so. You can do it in plain language. You don't have to get all creative about it or anything like that. But now's your time to have a voice and, let the government do their job, because I can tell you the real estate companies, the property management, the big landlord compound properties and that sort of thing, they're certainly going to have a say, businesses and that sort of thing. Because it's not just about home personal property.
No.
It's about
all these huge apartment complexes that you see will certainly represent themselves.
Right. So I'll leave you at that then, Mr. Glidden.
All right, you take care.
Who calls in? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon. And let's take another call here. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Dr. Chalo.
How you doing?
You?
All righty.
Let me touch base on the conversation the gentleman was talking about the land. Okay, and I heard what he said. My father is a Jamaican. My aunt, my grand uncle is who growed me. Okay, my father was part of my life, in my latter years, like up around when I was near 9, 10. He've always been. I don't know if he was there in the shadows financially to support me. But from the day I found out that was my father, me and him have never broke ties with nothing. Understand? And I use injection from listening to what my granduncle say when he used to go get drunk and come home. He would go sell the place and all that. And I had to make a conscious stand. I played the fool in school my last 2 years. But at the end of the day, I never made that stop me from not having anybody to tell me, but I use his negativity conversation as an injection.
Yeah.
You know, to make
You were listening.
Yes, I was listening. I didn't. My sister was listening. My brothers was listening, and we all jumped on the bandwagon later on. But I was one of the first to make up my mind. I gonna get something, even if I got put a cardboard box on it. It belongs to me, and I used that, and that inspired me. And I made sure I told myself, by the grace of God, I praying about these things at the same time, child. I was no Christian, but I was praying about it over the years, and you know, the Lord opened up opportunity and grant me the wisdom to have foresight to be able to see what was coming up the pipeline with Caymanians being able to afford land.
Yeah.
Because I never forget my father sent us to New Jersey to his mother, and I was there, and I realized a while, you know, this is not where I want to stay, you know. And I tell my grandmother I want to come back, and she say, no, your father say you got to stay over there. But long and short story, I got my American papers and stuff, and I always tell my father I'm not interested in staying. I was back and forth with here and there, checking in there 6 months. And it came down to a point where I just make up my mind and tell my brother, so look, we got to go around the place and steal things up the shop, make them catch us in the border so we could go back home, because I don't care where nobody stay. Everybody stay. The place that they birth is where they call home. And as the saying, Cayman is small, but at the end of the day, it's paradise. This from a young, tender age, Mr. Charles. I seen this from a young. I said, what I seen in America, Americans don't own nothing, Charles. They don't own nothing. Only the billionaires own anything, because everything you're taxed on. Yeah, if you don't pay the IRS, come and take care of the damn thing from you. Why in God's name would I want to stay in a country like that, Charles? Why? And I made up my mind. Lo and behold, I end up getting the land because of my father said something to me one time ago, and I kind of questioned, asked somebody what he mean by that. But what he was saying to me, when I first got my job, I was on it like a taxer. I forgot the opportunity to travel, and I enjoy traveling. And he said it to me, and I sit down one day and say, you know something, I really need to try get some money, and I decided, well, some parts of town that I would like to have a property and no further out of town than northward. And strategically, I talked to my father and came up with my deposit, and lo and behold, bam. He told me meet him in Prospect one day. And I met him, and he went and talked to the people, and that was my first property that I got, and it was owner's finance. And that gentleman said something that the man said to him, this is his house, and he wanted him out. You heard the saying goes, and I know you heard this, mother may have and father may have, but God bless the child that how they own.
Yes.
It's not for him. It's not for him. It belongs to that man. And I heard what he say, it belongs to the man, not his mother. But at the same time, he's not supposed to take it as a negativity or anything. Take things with a grain of salt. And nowadays, the society, everybody takes things to heart. When you talk to them either in layman terms or you talk to them straightforward, they take it the wrong way. So you got everything, you got sugarcoat with them. And it's when you sugarcoat it, it's not part getting to them the way it should come to them. And they feel that way. But, you know, hats off to what he's doing, but I'm going to give him a friendly advice. When I was growing up, and you wanted to build a little house and stuff, you get a bunch of friends, the women cook the food, or you got one of the guys cooking food, and need it be a holiday or a long holiday weekend coming up, and you just get up with enough money, get your blocks, get your cement, and you do it and throughout the community. We had that community growing up, Charlo.
That's how it used to be done.
Yes, and you know that. I grew up in that era. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'm always around. And I'm a person that if he need help anytime he wants, I could help him out, free of cost. So
I mean, we don't know exactly his situation, that he might not have been able to do that. But
yeah, but he said he got some money. And
yeah.
all he got to do buy the stuff. Back in the day, all people had to have money was to buy material. Because of inflation and stuff, and a lot of this, I think the government needs to deal with some regulation in this country whenever it comes to real inflation. Because look at what you say about the gas prices recently. I mean, that gas, I mean, stocks must have went back up a few days ago, and quick as that, they jump up. This is not a new shipment, but yet they're going back up on gas prices. Think about that, Mr. Glidden.
I need you to wrap up, though, because we're out of time.
That is my say, Charlo. Thanks for the conversation.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Take care. Yes, sir. All right, bye.
Yes, it is 2:30, and that means that's it for our talk today. I want to thank you for calling in, all our callers. Some very, very interesting discussion this afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered. Visit cineco.ky for your quote today.